The second major recommendation, and this follows, we're only about 100 years late here, but from our medical colleagues, the insistence that one semester of some kind of experience in a school before you become a teacher of record is radically insufficient. We would never train doctors this way. At least a full year of residency where your work is being supervised by somebody who's qualified as a master teacher to supervise that residency links to the work that this commission is doing in terms of teacher career ladders, recognizing mentorship as a professional qualification, and preparing somebody to mentor an incoming teacher trainee for a full year. We know this is challenging. It is challenging to fit a year of clinical training into a 4-year undergraduate degree program. It involves almost certainly using summers for coursework, but we simply don't believe that a short semester of experience, often supervised by 2 adults with no coordination, namely the adjunct or professor from the ed school and the untrained mentor teacher, is really a serious way to prepare teachers. So we want to combine the two, that is, having established the competencies, we want the clinical experience to be about mastering those competencies. And so we will expect to see from the teacher education programs the plan of how those competency developments are integrated into the clinical experience and how mentor teachers are adequately prepared to supervise the development of competencies in the field. Again, this following the medical model. We believe further that the clinical experience is not something that should be done in isolation, organized solely by the School of Education. We believe that the districts into which these students, because they are still student teachers, are being dropped or placed, need to be an integral part of the planning and design with the ed schools of what that experience looks like. More and more across the United States, where states are turning to full-year residency programs, the funding for the stipends of the whole year of training is done with the districts. The districts are looking at their budgets on things like paraprofessionals, teachers' aides, and thinking about whether a portion of that budget could not be placed to help the stipend, to afford the stipend of the clinical resident. Those models need to be developed and probably supported in part by the state. But we look to MOUs, or memorandums of understanding, between the educator preparation programs and the local school districts so that both are on board with the way in which the clinical residency will be prepared. And let's be frank about this. Some of the districts have long-time partnerships with schools of education. They've been recruiting from the same schools of education for years. And then, for better or worse, they say to us, look, our first-year teachers just aren't prepared. Well, let's put the responsibility on both parties to sit down and really establish the kinds of skills that a particular district may need that are more specialized or particular compared to the general skills that all teachers require. Let me give you an example. Montgomery County has had an exploding number of ELL students. They desperately need new teachers with deep experience and skills teaching ELs. And that is something that ought to be designed into the clinical experience, not just left for accident or afterthought.